Ricky Thornton Jr.'s redemption, some thoughts on the future of the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series and FloRacing. Do we really know who Spencer Bayston is as a sprint car driver, and a lot more today? Let's go. It's Sunday, October 20th. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is DIRTRACKR Daily presented by Kubota Genuine Parts. So during the season he should have won the championship, he didn't. And during the season where he probably shouldn't have won the title, he did. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, at Eldora Speedway last night, Ricky Thornton Jr. crowned the 2024 Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series champion. Tim McCreadie had already been eliminated from this fight, leaving Devin Moran and Jonathan Davenport as the two challengers to RTJ. Davenport had a shot, he led a few laps, ran up front, but his engine went bye-bye with 36 laps to go, and his bid fell by the wayside. And Moran was in a hole to start, having to come up from the 18th starting position. He did an incredible job to drive to the top 5 by the end, but he also ended up falling short. Thornton started third and ran near the front all night. He did have a late run-in with the wall that crinkled the right rear quarter, but it wasn't enough to slow his chances. It was a year marred by turmoil, multiple rides, multiple crew chiefs, but what looked to be a long shot for the championship just a few weeks ago turned around in his favor. He left the Pittsburgher 60 points back in third, but that big weekend at Brownstown really flipped things in his favor. A win and a second got him a cushion before Eldora, which he didn't even end up needing. A $200,000 paycheck and a championship not only for himself, but also for Kohler Motorsports and crew chief Chris Madden. Pretty wild that Madden's first national touring championship in dirt late model racing comes as a crew chief and not as a driver. Together, Madden and Thornton competed together 15 times. That stretch included 3 wins, 8 podiums, 10 top 5s, and 12 top 10s on their way to the title. The only real blemish was that tough weekend at Knoxville. The two will split for 2025, with RTJ's next crew chief not yet named, and Madden likely running a very part-time driving schedule. I do want to mention Moran here as well, as again, that team was incredible down the stretch. They finished the Lucas season with 24 straight top 10 finishes. They were so good this season, but because of this chase format, saw their title bid really undone by a 10th and a 6th at Brownstown. That's how good you've got to be here, that even those two finishes can take you out. While Thornton was winning the war last night, the battle went to Bobby Pierce, his first career dirt track world championship score and $100,000 for it. Pierce started 14th, but that wasn't a problem as he worked his way through the field, taking the lead from Tim McCreadie with 17 to go, and he drove on to the win. It was Pierce's 7th Lucas win of the year and 35th overall victory in 88 starts. T-Mac settled for second on the night after leading 79 of 100 laps. I'll be curious to see what's next for Rocket Racing, as their schedule still shows World Finals and the Flow Series finale at Sonoya still to come. I've been told, though, that they may call it a season after Eldora to begin 2025 preparations. Rumors continue to run rampant about the future for this team, with Josh Richards' intrigue obviously thrown in here. We talked about that a little bit last week. They even fueled those rumors a bit by posting a Throwback Thursday photo last week featuring both Richards and Brandon Shepard. It was a solid troll job in my own humble, experienced social media guy opinion. A sidebar, don't ever let these teams and car owners and drivers tell you they don't pay attention to social media. They absolutely do. But back to Rocket. It continues to seem highly possible and likely that McCreadie's Rocket House Car driver time is coming to a close. And multiple friends have told me that Josh Richards could run at least some races next year in the Rocket orbit, although a full season every week type of deal is probably not happening. One other Lucas end of the season note for you, Drake Trotman, the 2024 Rookie of the Year. Zooming out a bit on Lucas and looking ahead, they did drop their 2025 schedule in advance of the Eldora weekend. This was way earlier than we expected, as we didn't get the 2024 schedule until December 1st last year. There are definitely a few alterations, including the Hillbilly 100 moving to Lernerville. I know that one has a bunch of folks not happy. There's also an expanded Eagle Raceway event and a reworked Speed Weeks with the loss of East Bay. You're going to get 4 nights at Golden Isles, 3 at Alltech, and 5 at Ocala. That will kick the year off, starting with a practice night on January 14th. And the season will again end with the Dirt Track World Championship at Eldora. As part of the schedule announcement, FloRacing was also added as the series presenting sponsor, with a new logo coming. And there will be a lot more money on the line next year. That includes a $1.3 million point fund with Chase bonuses. That's up almost $300,000. And then an additional $800,000 in available purse money. A lot of those 12,000 win shows, they're now 15 grand to win. And some of those 15 grand to win shows, they're now 25 grand to win. Teams keep asking for more money, and there will certainly be plenty of chances to get more next year. We'll see how the World of Outlaws kind of counter all of this announcement. It's also not lost on me that Flo's involvement with Lucas is expanding. For those sports business nerds like myself, it's clear that Flo sees this as a marquee property, and I think this series specifically will be one to watch in the next several years. This is big speculation on my part. I don't know anything inside here. I'm not saying a deal is imminent or anything like that, but I can see a scenario in the next several years where Flo eventually has an ownership stake here, either in part or completely. The World Racing Group business works, at least on some level, because they own the streaming service and the racing series. As Flo continues to try and find a model that makes them profitable and a sustainable long-term business, this could be the path they are following and the model they are following. They've already got their sprint car series with High Limit, and a Lucas buyout or part ownership stake would solidify the late model side, bringing them right in line with World Racing Group. It's much easier when you don't have to negotiate rights fees on regular intervals every several seasons. And vertical integration, it's got a lot of benefits. As we've watched the last few years play out, I hope you guys understand that when it comes to the top series and special events, World Racing Group with Dirt Vision and FloRacing, they're the two superpowers here. The competition between the two sides is going to continue to shape the sport in very significant ways. Jumping over to sprint car racing. In the hours preceding the Thursday Daily Show, where we talked about a bunch of sprint car silly season stuff happening, Jason Myers went ahead and confirmed that Spencer Bayston will indeed be full-time with the team for next year. Bayston will run full-time with High Limit, and a second car will come out when Corey Day is available in between his pavement racing commitments. It was just a few days before that it was officially announced that Bayston was departing the CJB sprint car, with that team's plans still to be revealed. If the JMR 14 team was going to remain a full-time high-limit contender, they obviously were going to need another driver, with Day expected to spend much of 2025 working his way into that pavement and NASCAR career. Day's going to be back in a truck on the NASCAR side this coming week at Homestead, and then again the following race at Martinsville. In the hours kind of leading up to that Thursday Daily Show where I said I wasn't sure if this deal was quite locked down just yet, I was literally told 3 different things about Bayston's future. One was that the 14 deal was absolutely done. Another was that he was in discussions for the Crouch 11 car, and still a third was that he was working towards a 14 deal, but that it wasn't complete just yet. That should tell you just how crazy the rumors have been lately. This is one deal, and those were all the things I was hearing. Bayston will make his debut in the 14 with the NARC Series this coming weekend at Kern County in Hanford. He'll also head east for World Finals in a few weeks. In the days since this move was made official, I have seen a lot of Bayston slander online. It seems as though folks view this as a good move for him, but maybe not for JMR. And looking at the responses, it's clear the jury's still very much out on whether or not Bayston can be a top sprint car driver. And if you look at his results the last few seasons, it's not hard to understand why. Just a couple of wins, a lot of average finishes, a lot of ups, a lot of downs. The question I have here, though, is how much of that is on him and how much of that is on CJB? Because CJB teams have not been serious contenders since the departure of David Gravel after the 2018 season. Since then, Shane Stewart, Paul McMahon, Brent Marks all had time in that ride with very mixed results. Stewart lasted a season, Marks a season plus a few months, and McMahon was kind of in and out at various points. And Stewart and McMahon were at the tail end of their driving careers, but Marks really seemed to blossom after departing that ride. So I don't know that we can say right now that we have a clear picture of who Bayston is as a driver just yet. 2025, though, should give us a clear picture as we know what Day was able to do in that car. I don't think anyone views Bayston as having the same talent as Day, but another year like 2024 will not be good enough. The JMR 14 with Bayston becomes our second confirmed high-limit team for next year, joining the Boot 13 with Days and Pursley. Obviously, there's lots of others we can make assumptions about, but those are the 2 we know of for sure full-time high-limit next season. All right, looking at other weekend dirt racing results, Aaron Reitzel, Buddy Kofoid split the World of Outlaws sprint car wins at the Dirt Oval at Route 66. Reitzel hadn't won an Outlaw show since 2021. That was the season of his infamous chassis scandal. Kofoid bounced back on Saturday to win after having mechanical issues on Friday that prevented him from even starting the feature. As for the championship, I think we could just about call this one decided. Carson Macedo finished behind David Gravel both nights. He's now 78 points back with 5 races left. He really needed to make up ground this weekend, and he did not do that. The Outlaws head to Riverside this next weekend, and then after that, it will be World Finals. At Trophy Cup, Justin Peck, Corey Eliason won the 2 prelim nights, while Trey Starks took the finale. Corey Day crowned the Trophy Cup points champion. Definitely not a clean weekend at the Tulare Thunderbolt. Track conditions were an issue. Colby Copeland found out Friday he didn't win via the driver radio after the checkered. He crossed the line at the winner, but officials had deemed that he didn't stay nose to tail on a late restart, so they docked him 2 spots post-race. Again, if we're not having restarts going the way they should, why are we not just throwing the caution, docking him at that point, and then getting going again? Why are we doing this afterwards? I never will understand that rule. Trophy Cup going forward will be managed by Kevin Rudine, though, and I think this event could use some fresh blood in charge. This one has seemingly drawn complaints pretty regularly every season, including about how it's covered. I would expect, though, that Trophy Cup could look different next year. The ASCS weekend at Riverside was swept by Derek Hagar. Brent Marks took the finale at Lincoln and $20,000. Ricky Lewis, David Gasper were CRA winners, and Cody Swanson got the Silver Crown walk-off. He won the finale at IRP and took the Silver Crown Championship over Justin Grant. Your 2024 Comp Cam's late model champion is Logan Martin, with BJ Robinson and John Mitchell winning those final 2 races. That's the daily for today. Feel free to leave your comments on the dirt racing weekend below. I'm sure you guys have plenty of opinions. Hope you have a great rest of your Sunday out there. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.